Hello, this is Tammy from Crafted in His Image, and I want to share to you today a fun card. This is using our Cool Treats stamp set and bundle. And in this card it has a fun little surprise. It says you're cool, and we've got the little ice cream. But if you pull on this little tab, our ice cream now has 4 scoops instead of just 1. And you know, everyone loves more scoops, more ice cream. So I'm going to put this away and show you how I made it. Like I said, it uses our Cool Treats stamp set. It uses the Frozen Treats Framelits dies, and it was also using the Tasty Treats Specialty Designer Series paper. And I just used this for a few accents on it, but I'm going to go ahead and put this away, and let's get started. I've done a lot of the cutting ahead of time, but there's one particular part I want to show you how to cut. And that is the mechanism part that we're going to use in order to make our ice cream go up and down. So what you will need is your trimmer. Aha! My trimmer had run away on me. So you're going to need your trimmer, and what we're going to do, this is a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that's been cut at 5.5 inches. And scored down the middle here, but we need to cut out this little slit here. So what we're going to do is use this piece of paper, and I've actually already adhered my background designer series paper. That way I can cut through both pieces at the same time. And we're going to go and cut these 2 pieces here first. So I want to come 2 inches in, and we need our cutting blade. Move this so you can see. And on here you can see we have an arrow, and I'm going to line it up at the 1 inch mark, and I'm just going to go 3/8 of an inch down. So 1, 2, 3, and that should do it. And then I want to move this over to 4 3/4 and do the same thing. I'm going to go to the 1 inch mark, and I'm just going to go in 3/8 of an inch. And I am pushing a little hard because going through a couple layers of paper there, but not too much. It's not too difficult. Then here again we're 1 inch on this line, and that should line me up right at the top of our little cut. I don't know if you can see it very well. I can barely see it. And our cut down here, and I'm going to line this up at that cut, and I'm basically just going to take this down, cutting through all the layers of cardstock. Let me see, yep, until I get to that bottom cut. And there it is. And then I'm going to scoot it over and do the same thing at this cut. And I think I'm going to start at the top here and work my way down a little bit more. And if you go over the cut, it's no big deal. This piece is going to be completely covered and hidden, but it's just going to give us a good, and it didn't cut all the way through. So because I had to have multiple, this is the first time I've done it with the multiple layers. Last time I did it in 2. Oh, there we go. Could feel it cut through. Nope, I'm not on the line. There we go. Now we can cut this piece out. There we go. Not a nice and even cut. That's because I didn't push hard enough. So push a little harder. But it's okay because it's all going to be hidden behind our decorative pieces. So get this out of the way. And now for the decorative pieces. I have a piece of cardstock that is cut at 2 3/4 by 2 inches. So 2 inches by 2 3/4. And then a white piece that is 2 1/8 by 2 7/8. So 2 1/8 by 2 7/8. So as you can see, they just, one is slightly bigger than the other, and we're going to stamp on here. I'm using Watermelon Wonder, and I'm going to use the word sweet on this one. I'm going to stamp it first down near the bottom corner, like that. And then I'm going to stamp the your above it, and this way, thankfully these are nice and clear, and it makes it easy to line up so the Y tucks underneath there. And there we go. Your sweet. This needs to be glued onto my white piece. And get my snail adhesive. and glue this on here. There we go. Okay. So now comes the part where we're gonna make our little tab that goes up. I'm gonna do this one slightly different. I found on here that I don't have a whole lot to grab a hold of, and it's not super sturdy, so I wanted to give a little extra flap to that. So this piece here is cut 3/4 inch by 5 3/4, and I've scored it at the 5 1/4 inch. So I have about a 1/2 inch little extra spot right here, and I'm going to take my 3/4 inch round. I'm going to stick this inside. So just, can you see just that edge there is going to get trimmed. So now I have a nice rounded edge. And then I'm going to eyeball, I want this is going to be here. Let me use a pencil and mark. Because I also, and I'm going to fold this on my score line, because I want to make a little thumb holder here by punching. There we go. Paper flying everywhere. And then I'll go ahead and erase a little bit of pencil mark there. Okay, so now I have it. I'm going to fold this down, and that will give us a little extra bit to grab a hold of to actually lift. There we go. Now this is going to go here, making sure it's lined up pretty straight behind this. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals right down here on the bottom. As soon as I can find my dimensionals, there they are. Now I cut my dimensionals in half. You could do full ones. I think full ones would fit on a 3/4 inch. Yeah, they would, but I just cut mine in half. So I have one, it's going to go there, and a 1/2 one right here. Peel off the backing. And I'm holding this down so that this lines up. I want to make sure that this is going to be able to fit in an envelope, so I don't want it to end up being up higher. So I'm going to hold it right there. And then I'm going to take this little piece, which is 2 1/2 by 3/4, and I'm going to, let me lay this down. I want to make sure that this isn't going to show above or below once I stick that on. There we go. So sticking that on there. And this is just the part that our ice cream is going to attach to. See how it's going to go up and down? And you've kind of made a little sandwich. I don't know if you can see very well. You've made a little sandwich there with the dimensionals in the middle, and it allows this to go up and down. So now we're going to put some dimensional. Now on my first one I only used 1 dimensional behind this sheet, but I've found that this is really close right here. So you can do it that way, but I think what I'm going to do on this one is I'm actually going to double up. I'm going to make it a little bit taller by putting a double stack of dimensionals. Basically one stacked on top of another. And I'm just doing the 4 corners, so I got to peel off my paper. And this is that corner one. Stick that on there. And we need one more for this corner. So now it's just going to be a little bit taller, and it'll make it easier for that mechanism to move underneath it. You don't have to do this part. I also found that some dimensionals, like the ones I get in the Paper Pumpkin, tend to be a little bit thinner than these. So I could have used a Paper Pumpkin dimensional on here and then our standard ones on here, and then it would have given it that little extra space as well. Okay, before I add this piece on, I want to go ahead and glue on my ice cream stack. So I'm going to take this stack and I'm going to glue it right here, so to make sure that this top part covers up this area right here. So I'm just going to use actually I'm going to use some tearing tape. So make sure, since this is going to be moving around a lot, I don't want it to come loose. And so I'm going to put a little piece of tearing tape down here on the bottom. Peel this off. I have no fingernails for this. There we go. And then I'm just going to take my stack of ice cream and glue it so that that is covering, just covering the top of that. Okay, so it's going to lift up to there and come back down. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue the You're Sweet on. And I want to make sure that these are clearing the edges of my ice cream, that they're not going to catch on it. So I am going to just put it off to the corner right here. Maybe a little bit higher. And then simply glue my ice cream right on top of that. Can you see that? So let me go ahead and put a little bit of tearing tape again. I could use snail adhesive for this. I'm just going to use tearing tape. And put that there. Try and hide our ice cream in the background, and there we have. Now to keep this down, I am going to add a little bit, I think I'm going to add a glue dot there. Looking for my Okay, now one of the things you'll find is it keeps wanting to go back and forth, side to side, and we don't want it to do that. We want it to stay put right underneath this ice cream. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is put a piece of tearing tape right along the edge here, and another piece along the edge here. And this part we could use just snail adhesive if you want, but or tearing tape, either one. I don't know that snail adhesive would hold very well with the moving, so I'm going to go with the tearing tape right next to this. Well, maybe I am. There we go. And then I have cut a piece of our designer series paper, and I just realized I've already put this here, but I need to cut out the thumb hole. So since that's already hidden, I'm going to use this side here as my guide, right there. And punch that out. And then, just make sure our tab is not on any of the adhesive. And go ahead and adhere this down. Now this piece of paper is cut just slightly smaller than the inside dimensions of the card. So if the card is 4 1/4 by, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 this way and this way, I did it 4 inches by just slightly smaller than 5 1/2. And there we go. Let's see how it works. Yay! I think I like it better with the white background as opposed to the blue, because my ice cream stands out better against the background. So what do you think? Kind of fun. There's all your dimensions. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.